Hello, hello, welcome to your reading. So, you're here for a reading in regards to how best to connect with your unique energy, or how best to work with your unique energy is probably a better title, I believe. Everyone has unique energy and a unique way of connecting. That's why there's so many different teachers out there who help you connect with what they have found works for them, right? Or what they have found works for many people. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. That doesn't mean it's wrong or right. It's just your unique energy is for you to understand and work with in your own unique way. Therefore, this reading will be hints and tips on how to find that, or maybe even some ideas of what may work for you and may not. Either way, let's start the reading. Okay, so we're going to pick 3 piles for this one today. Okay. Okay, bit of light coming from here, don't mind that. All right, let's take a look at your 3 piles. So for pile number 1, you have the Ametrine with spiritual guidance, angelic realms, clear stress, and truths revealed. And this is what the crystal looks like. For pile number 2, you have Jet, absorbs negativity, grounding, financial balance, healing grief. And for pile number 3, you have Aquamarine with water healing, compassion, speaking your truth, and compromise. Okay, so these will be your 3 piles. I'll just move them slightly to get them out of the light. These will be your 3 piles for today. Take your time, pick whichever one or ones call to you. You can always go to the description down below and skip straight to your reading. But I want to thank you for being here. Take your time again to pick whichever one calls to you, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, hello, welcome to your reading pile number 1. So you have chosen today Ametrine. This has a message of spiritual guidance, angelic realms, clear stress, and truths revealed. So how best to work with your energy? Interesting one coming through here. Have a look, because I feel like I'm getting some hints of it, but they're not coming through very clearly, which generally means we need to get into the reading instead of interpreting the message, because it'll all come through with the cards. All right, so what does pile number 1 need to hear on how best to work with their energy? This one's calling. See if I can squeeze that in. There's a lot of cards wanting to come through today. So it's like, well, I'm going to let them all come through. And as always give them a good shuffle off camera. So if they come out really quickly, you know, like, well, that was very fast. They have had a really good shuffle. Oh yes, I was thinking of 2, so that's good. Got 2 here. There is energy of like, I know this probably sounds a bit odd, but there's like it's like a storage system, or you're here to, you're not here as like a little storage, you know, USB 5 gig storage device or whatever, or 100 gig storage device. It feels like you're here to, I don't know, store energy or something like that. You know, again, take what resonates, but I had to come out and say that because it just felt like a storage. It was like a memory bank. You're here to, okay, now it makes sense. The storage is you're here to record history or something like that, or you've recorded history from where you've come from, and you're here to enact it in some way. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go and do light language or speak some kind of other language or anything like that specifically. That may be it, and that would be very specific. And if that is perfect, you've picked the right pile. If it's not, don't worry. There's something here which is, it's a tough one. I'm trying to make sure I get it from like the higher perspective, and also how do we integrate that into Earth, right? Because we're here, we're on Earth, regardless of where you've come from, if you're a starseed or not, it does not matter. You're here on Earth right now, in this moment, you're here for a purpose and a reason. So it does feel like you're here to enact something. This could be breaking family cycles of just cycling with the same kind of like, okay, I'll be the mother this time, you be the father, and we'll try to sort something out. And they just keep cycling. And that is something where it's like being able to step out of that, which might be super easy for you, will be a big revelation for your family or people around you. It's like, oh, you didn't just do what we said. Oh, you actually did step out and do what you wanted to do. Okay, you know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. So there is that energy here. And I knew I would start before flipping cards because it's just the energy comes through. They didn't want me to start too early until I got the full story. So, interesting one. Let's have a look. So you've got Chaos Seeker. Interesting. Looks like you've chosen a particularly challenging existence. It's like, oh, you could pick this one, which is easier, but less like, you know, less learnings, less involvement in the 3D-ness of being here. You could even be someone who has been trying to assist with humanity in a long time, like for a long time. Potentially for a very, very, very long time. Maybe from the start of this kind of cycle of humanity, and maybe even before that. So this is why the Chaos Seeker, you're not necessarily trying to seek negative energy, it's just that you want the challenge, and that's why you're here. So you might think, why did I choose that? But you've probably done this time and time again. You haven't chosen the easy path because you know that's the greatest. Coming from somewhere where it's so dark and scary sometimes, to overcoming so many obstacles puts you further in the light than someone who is already like, you know, up here and kind of like guided very simply, and then being up there. The person that's got there from being down here to up there has a whole lot more knowledge and information. Now that's harder because sometimes we can start to improve and then certain things happen and we shift back down, right? It just happens, or we let our fear, emotions, anger overcome us. So there's a lot of information here, but anyway, the mask, you know, you're starting to wear the human mask too much. That really just means in like a grounding sense, in an earthly sense of being your true self, not being afraid to be yourself, not blaming others that they stopped you from being you. If that's true, you don't have to be around them anymore. You don't have to engage all the time. You don't have to fear or worry about talking to them and doing it. Limit your energy as much around those people and be around like yourself and connect with yourself, because it's all up to you. It's really your choice. Interesting. You also have nurture. Really nice card here. You know, it's like how do you look after yourself? How do you be there for yourself as well? You can always be there for others, but how are you there for yourself? Because that helps you radiate the energy so much cleanly than being like, oh, I have to save this person, I have to save this person, I have to save this person. If you just quote unquote save yourself or look after yourself, you'll naturally have that energy that will automatically wash over the people around you. And instead of trying to like point and focus in specific areas all the time, sometimes that's necessary, not all the time. But if you're good, then they'll naturally feel it regardless. It just radiates from you. Getting truth again. We've got truth revealed and you're getting truth. Live your truth, speak your truth, all that. So this is truth, honor, empress, and integrity. Integrity is everything. You know what the Seven of Swords looks like. That is not integrity. That is just someone trying to help the situation, but not always in a way that helps the other person. It's like someone, this is just an example that popped up, but it's like someone who really wants to help someone else, and they are living a life of doing whatever they want, they're abusive to whatever. This other person is like loving, kind, that kind of thing. But they really, really, really want to help them. And so they're taking on their pain and holding it within themselves. This is where the storage thing comes in. It's like, I'm going to hold this for you so you can keep doing whatever you want and hopefully you'll just get better. And then this person, the quote unquote good person, is getting sick. This person, probably what they really need is to feel their own choices and bad habits and that kind of thing. They need to get the results from that, and they're not getting it because someone else is taking it away, even though they're doing it in like a loving, it's like a toxic, it's almost like a toxic connection in a sense. It's like, no, I'll hold this for you, and then this person has to end up throwing this person out of the house and leaving, and they still energetically are connected where this person's gets sicker and sicker and sicker because they're not helping themselves. They let them they like let go and let them feel what they're doing to themselves, they will learn their lessons. This makes sense. It's very specific, but this is, you know, you feel like it's nurturing and helping, and it kind of is in a sense. You're stopping them from getting sick, right? But you're not helping them learn their lessons. They may have come down here for that kind of life lesson. Who knows? So the integrity, even though it feels like you're doing the right thing, we're talking about this from a soul level, not from a human level. As a human, we see that, oh, this person's great because they're like doing everything for them or saving them from themselves, but they're not actually helping them learn their lessons. Ooh. All right, Water Temple Devotion. I bow to the sacred waters of life. This is a nice one. This is the Water Temple Oracle deck, so obviously water is going to be a big theme in this reading today. However, I would say drink a lot of water as well. Cleanse your energy. Keep yourself clean. Make sure you know what your purpose, I don't want to say purpose is, because that can shift and change, and also it's kind of hard for some people unless they're living it, right? If you're one of those people that you know exactly what it is and you're living it, congratulations. But this really does feel like just keeping like the inner temple cleansed, like your energy clear, releasing that which is other people's, give it back to them. You're not helping yourself by holding on to someone else's problems or issues they need to process and deal themselves, and vice versa too. If you've left part of yourself, like a positive part of yourself, with someone, claim it back because that's yours. It works all different ways, both ways, multiple ways, multi-dimensional ways. You also have Harness My Magic, Holy Wells of Ireland. This is where speaking your truth is really important. What is important to you? How you sit with your energy? Start working with your energy. Really intently focus on what is your energy. This also kind of touches in on past, present, future as well. How have you grown in the last few years? Be proud of yourself for that too, because you probably have learned and gone through a lot to get to here, right? You chose potentially a tricky path with the Chaos Seeker here, It's like, I'm going to take on a big ass challenge. And, you know, it's played out as it is, as it has. What are the blessings and learnings from that? Try not to, as hard as it is, but try not to put blame or focus on anything else. Try to, how do I say it? Try to always focus your compass needle on progress, love, forward momentum, relaxation, peace, you know, the positive vibes of things. Be mindful of the language you speak too. What do you say to yourself? You know, there's a lot here. This is how you can best work with your energy, is understanding where your mind is impacting you, where your ego is impacting you, where sometimes your light ego is impacting you as well. Ego isn't negative, it's just part of us. It also needs love. Sometimes it'll fight us, right? Or try to bring in conflict into us. And that's a time to, you know, recognize what is my ego trying to tell me? Why is this popping up? And instead of killing it, like, you know, old school, what do you call it? Spirituality practices and ego deaths. This is about understanding. Have proper conversations with your body. Have proper conversations with your ego, your shadows, your light as well. You know, treat yourself, your inner aspects of self equally as well. Doesn't mean you have to buy into what the ego wants, but it's, you know, you're gonna get better results out of giving love to your ego rather than conflict. Ego loves conflict, but it also works better with love. Okay, hope that makes sense. That's a lot. I think I'm going to go with these 4, honestly. I've had a good little shuffle. I'm going to grab one of these too. Yeah, this Holy Wells here is just like know yourself, know thyself. I actually didn't read this. It says, that which is true will always be enough. That which is true will always be enough. Oof, this one. Okay, well, you're getting 2. They kind of flipped out straight away. So it says here, nucleus, the power within the stars is the power within you. Yeah, you have your own universe in a way within you, right? Your blood, your DNA, your atoms, also the cells that are working hard to keep you alive, the ones that go in and take out the germs, you know, white blood cells going in, taking out the germs, that kind of stuff. They're working really hard to keep you alive. So honor your body as well. Speak to your body. Communicate with yourself. Outer space. Take time to heal, grow, and expand. Yeah, there's really no rush with this. Okay. So you've got 2 of Cups. This really does feel like people in your life are important. It's an interesting one because some of you are probably hermits in a sense as well, but communication and your close connections are important. They help you revitalize and recharge, and you also help them recharge as well. And like I was talking about with that, you know, person who's that relationship kind of like, I guess you would see it as toxic or like challenging, let's just say, connection. You know, they're important too. Sometimes the connections that we make that don't work out in like long-term relationships or something like that aren't bad. Like, relationships aren't valued or better if you're in a relationship for a long time. I've seen that with couples. When I used to work in the bank, this was a long time ago, very left brain back then. And so, you know, working in the bank, you would see people call up. They would have no idea how to use their account. They never used their account. They just relied on each other. Like, this person did all of this. This person did all of this. So once one of them passed, which, you know, really difficult, they had no idea how to use the bank. They had no idea how to pay bills. They didn't know how to do this. and vice versa. It's like, oh, this has happened, I don't know how to look after myself. You know, it's just like so codependent that it's kind of toxic in a way. So anyway, I know it's talking to like a lot of negative stuff, but it's not really negative. That's just the label we put on it. It's really talking to some stuff that may be true for some of you in this pile. But honor your relationships, honor your connections is really important here. That really helps you with your flow and your energy. You've got the Six of Swords. Interesting. For whatever reason, these ties, these strings. It's like trust yourself, and that's how you'll trust your guidance. Know when it's time to move beyond what is no longer fruitful and working, because your energy, especially if you're raising your you know, working up through the levels or vibrations and that kind of thing, it's tough. You can't force anyone else to awaken or come through with you. There is no forcing, because maybe they're not supposed to. Maybe they're supposed to stay where they are. You know, everyone's coming from a different place and era and area in the world and in life and in the you know, in the galaxy and spiritual progress. So honor your spiritual progress, but don't make that someone else's. That's for them. This is about your own unique energy. Honor their own unique energy too. But you know, that doesn't mean you have to stay in theirs either. I'm gonna have to be the trailblazer, it feels like. I'm gonna say this Aquarian energy is wild. It's real wild. Strength, love that. I love this. She's got like this lioness or lion coming through. It's interesting because it really does feel like amalgamation of your magic, but also your masculinity and femininity. Everyone has both. No one is one or the other. Some will work one more than the other at one particular time in life and maybe flip, or maybe they're just working on one particular area in this lifetime. Either way, you know, again, uniqueness. But know that what is challenging to you is for your strength, not for your downfall. Honor your emotions. Know what is fear and what isn't. Like, you're getting a lot of dichotomy, right? This amalgamation of, you know, you've seen the triple moon goddess energy here, but what am I trying to say? The past, present, future, like, you know, this kind of knowing where you're heading to, knowing who you are now, knowing where you came from. This mix and blend of strength and not, I don't think it's weakness with the lamb. It's just like gentle energy. It doesn't all have to be forceful and pushing, because that's very masculine. Trying to get things or people to follow you. That's the amalgamation of two different types of energies, blending uniquely and nicely. And here with this black and white wolf, right, the different like across the veil type thing, the shadow and light, not one being better than the other, just understanding that all of this is part of you. Well. There is a lot here to go through. With all these cards out, I would say that all this is about understanding and not compromising too much. It's not about compromising. It's about understanding your energies, where you are, who you are, how you feel, what is important to you. You know, all these kind of questions. What makes you you? What triggers you? When do you trigger yourself? How do you treat yourself? How do you talk to yourself? How do you think about yourself in mind? Even if you sometimes joke, you're like, oh, I'm so stupid, haha, you know, that kind of thing, because you did something silly. Sometimes that can be like when I said watch your words, I think, or watch your language. I wasn't saying, you know, swearing. I was more talking about how you speak to yourself and how you think about yourself as well, because it's really important to get into a good positive vibration. You know, honoring your feelings. I'm not saying, you know, if something bad happens, just go, oh, it's okay. It's not about that. It's about understanding, comprehension of what is happening in your life at this very moment. Always come back to wholeness. Know who you are. Know that you're connected no matter what. You always have your guides, your supporters there as well. This is a tough planet, but it's also one of great growth. And so you want to make sure that you experience all that and also have fun with this. It's not about just doing the work. Seen some starseeds come down and kind of give up their sovereignty, give up their free will in a sense to just serve and follow instructions, and that is not what this planet is about. That is different planets. That's where they just go and just do a life which they already know the plan, then there's no there's nothing interesting about it, right? It's just already pre-planned. This isn't a robotic life. We're here to experience it and also do what we want, and also getting some of the tasks that we plan out done. So, interesting one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions, of course, how to work with your energy. Look, take whatever parts really resonated, leave what doesn't. But thank you very much for letting me read for you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, welcome, pile number 2. Thank you for being here. Thank you for getting a reading today. So I hope this really can help you. This is in regards to trying to work with your energy. What's the best way to work with your own unique energy yourself? And understand it in some form, in some way. This is not going to tell you who you are, what to do, what to be. This is for you to uncover all those aspects of self. So you've chosen Jet with absorbs negativity, grounding, financial balance, and healing grief. Interesting one with absorbs negativity. We'll have a look at that. The absorbs negativity kind of touches on what I talked to a little bit in pile 1, with the fact of taking on a lot of energy, absorbing a lot of energy around you, just naturally. We might be touching on some kind of there's one where there's like a meditation, which is really quick and easy. You can just envision a light pyramid, like you're inside, you picture yourself inside this pyramid made of light, and it's like protective, not protective because anything negative is going to happen, but it just feels secure and safe is probably the best way of wording it. It's like being at home, you feel comfortable. Even when you're out, and it just feels light, and it helps you radiate and balance your energies easier when you're out with other people. It also stops you absorbing other people's energy as well, because sometimes you'll take something that may not actually be for you to take, that's for you to either just release, pass through, or give back to this person because they may need it to work on their own stuff. But we'll have a look at what your cards actually say. That just kind of popped into my mind, so I wanted to speak to it. Okay, so let's see. This one is calling. This is also a cute little deck that I got created. Got some artwork commissioned, and I just love the back of it. It just looks like, kind of reminds me of street graffiti. I love it. Love that deck. Not just because I created it, but a little bit. Okay. Ooh, you want to jump out. So how to best work with your energy, please. File number 2. Wow, these ones are so specific today. There's like certain cards that are just like, they're just there. Bam. So it's going to be actually kind of fun. I want to say that your energy feels like you're learning a lot about yourself and a lot about your energy. They don't teach this anywhere, right? You don't get this at school. You get maths, art, science, that kind of stuff. This is feeling like there should be a class that almost feels like of how do you get to know yourself? How do you uncover your hidden abilities and help yourself shine in this lifetime, right? It's just because not everyone's going to do the it's almost like school, I'm not ragging on school. schools and the education system, but just like there's so much more that's so much more important. We don't even have classes that help with like real life stuff like paying bills and that kind of thing. I mean, maybe they do now, I don't know. I'm a little bit older, so you know, I'm just going on my own experience, but I feel like the education system, while probably has changed over the years, isn't really shifting from where it was maybe like 100 years ago even. Anywho. It's like, anyway, regardless, it feels like you're learning your class on you, a class on you. Okay, cool. Let's have a look. So you've got Akabamalu and the cuneiform. So Akabamalu is like a mythological creature that's pretty much, you know, Scorpion King, pretty much that. And cuneiform is the way, or like, you know how they used to have tablets, so they're like a chisel and a hand mallet, and that's why a lot of ancient kind of writing, when they read on tablets, is from right to left instead of how we do left to right, because we're predominantly people with the right hand go like that, right? But when you're with a chisel, your left hand is holding the quote-unquote pen, and your dominant hand is hitting it. So it was, you know, you couldn't go like that because that wouldn't make sense. So you're like this, boop, 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 boop. That's why I used to go this way. Anyway, don't know why I needed to tell you that. Maybe that was just the geek in me wanting to bring that through. But it's got here friction, communication, and gossip. Yeah, a lot of energy coming through here. And it's like this energy is kind of ragey energy. You know, they got the stinger, they got the sword. There's like this rage energy. And here with the tablet, it's like information that's being almost like printing press or like news. It's like watching the news just rolls that information. This isn't necessarily people's energy. It's just like watching the news. You know, you can watch a story at like morning, noon, and afternoon. It's the same stuff. It's the same energy rotating round and round. You already know it in the morning. You don't need to get more information or speak about it at work, and then once you go home, speak about it at home, and then watch it on the news. Like, you know, that's too much. That's too much of the same story. It's one pocket of what's happening in the entire globe. It's like not even 1%, right? It's like a small thing, but it's like 100% of our mind and focus. So be mindful of what you consume as well. Energetically from people, but also from media and the internet and that kind of stuff, social media, all of that. I've got love unconditionally. This is going to be a tough one, especially if you've had challenges in the past with certain people. It's like, how can I love them? How can I have anything for them for what they did to me or anything like that? It's a tough one. It's going to be a life learning for sure. It takes a long time and a lot of like deep healing, but fully worth it. I would say even in this lifetime, you don't have to say, I love them. You definitely don't need to approve of what they have done to you, right? You don't dismiss and just allow what occurred to you. But loving unconditionally is no longer having the judgment or fear of what happened occurring again, you know, anything like that. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. This is not an easy one, but loving unconditionally is part of your journey. You look like another one who's picked like a particularly interesting or challenging path with certain events. It's not like the whole life has been like, brr. It's just like, this has occurred, which is really hurt. This has occurred, this is really hurt, and pulled you into shadow. The shadow's there to learn, and you know some of you probably have already overcome many of this, and some of you are still working on this, and that's fine. No one's supposed to be anywhere other than where you are at this time. No one's judging. Our harshest critic is ourselves. Okay. You also have the mirror, self-reflection, writer, and big picture. So interesting too with writer and the cuneiform, because it's like your story, right? It's like what you read and what you consume again. but also what you tell yourself. What are you telling yourself that may be true, may not be true? This is about honest and true reflection of what you're feeling. If you're like, even if you're like working in the light and you're always in the light, and then when you look in the reflection or like the mirror, you have negative energy towards yourself or about something that's happened, be honest with it. Just say, yes, this is how I feel. That's what I do sometimes. I had like a really flat day a couple of days ago, really low, and I just wanted to curl up in a ball. And I just said to myself, I know I feel like this. This is how I feel. This is very clear. It didn't help. Like, it didn't go, oh, okay, I feel like that. I moved out of it. But it helped me process why and where it was coming from. And I was able to move through it that day. It took a lot of energy out of me, though, that day. But I'd rather move through it than just ignore it and leave it to sit in the side and turn into something it doesn't need to be. And believe me, I'm not perfect with that, but I understand that these things happen. You got bigger picture here, and I think that goes with this, like seeing the bigger picture, understanding the bigger picture, understanding what you're really here for, and learning about that, learning how your energy moves towards your purpose and goals, because that's what's really important, not these little things that throw you off some days or like certain old repeating patterns popping up. They're there to be processed. They're not there to be fully focused on for a long time. Just know that they'll be temporary. They're not going to be there nagging you or just in the back of your mind forever. It's just temporary. Got birthplace of Aphrodite with emergence. My divine flow arouses creativity. Yeah, you're definitely here to shine. Rose the Mystica, dedication. This is Mother Mary. It's like a embodiment, I guess, of Mother Mary, or you know, Rose the Mystica is the embodiment of Mother Mary's embodiment of Rose Mystica. Whichever way you want to go, regardless, it's that kind of nurturing, supporting energy, loving energy. You're definitely here to share a whole lot of love. You have a whole lot of love to give. And the way that's come through is by almost going through very challenging, I want to say, very specific challenges. But that's how you can open your heart, because it says, I open my heart to abiding love. I know that I deserve and feel it, is how it comes through. It's like, I know I deserve and feel it. And I know that I have a lot to live and give. This is your awakening, I guess. I want to say awakening as like there's only one, that's it. This is your awakening of your true light self as well. Just honor yourself. Honor your energy. Woo! Okay, temperance is flying out. All right, temperance, yeah. What else do I say? Sometimes temperance is about focusing too much on the light and not on our shadows. Sometimes it's vice versa. You know, some people are out there doing, I want more shadow work, more shadow work, more shadow work. The shadow's been worked on and done. Leave it alone. Yeah, there's a new path. It feels like there's a new path. There's lots of learning. Look, you got more books. There's a lot of books coming through. This may be so specific, especially for if you're a creative, writing down, journaling, but also rewriting your story. Your past does not have to define your present or future. Ooh, okay. Nurturing again. I love that. The Empress right next to Mother Mary as well. Really beautiful. You have so much heart, right? And it's so tough when you have so much heart but you don't understand why people aren't getting it. That's when you turn in and just try to understand it yourself. Oh, look, more reflection. This is beautiful as well, this inner child coming through of like the history and past. There is something to reflect on, not relive. You don't have to relive the past. It's just to, you know, you're getting very clear messages, I want to say. You know, book. The reflection past coming through with the mirror. Like there's just a lot here. And also there's these little butterflies lifting her hair. You know, there's a lot of changes that have occurred. She's also got, I don't know, I don't know what to say, rainbow water spilling out of her book, right? Coating her feet. I want to say what the writing on the book says. I can't read it. My eyes, honestly. It says, did you forget? What does it say? Did you forget all you have? Sorry, I'm just trying to get it. Oh, okay, I've got it. Okay, so it says, did you forget all you had to go through to be you? Did you forget all you had to go through to be you? That's beautiful. Wow, what a precious soul. Okay. Getting like chills now. Did you forget all you had to go through to be you? Don't forget that. You don't want to relearn these lessons. You don't want to re-go through this. And you won't, because you're here getting this reading. You already know. It's almost getting emotional. I'll simmer down. Morningstar, keep shining even when others have quit. Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. Some of the stuff from the past is really heavy, or really was a choice, right? You might go back and think, why the hell would I choose that? Don't choose again. You don't need to do that to learn these lessons. There's lessons to be learned always, but you don't have to take the most challenging thing. I will say this. You'll probably be like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But when we go back, for some reason, I feel like we lose our mind slightly. But we're like, oh, this will be fun. And then we put ourselves in these ridiculous situations in life. Anywho, how to work with your energy. Know that you're coming of age, or like you're coming into an awakening of your true, like, loving energy, beautiful energy within. That's there, and you're allowed to release it, let it free and be vulnerable. Don't have to hold on to that which no longer serves you. Other energies and anything like that, just know, especially this reminds me of that white pyramid I was talking about, or white pyramid of light. You know, set your intentions of what you want to embody in this moment, in this day, in this week, this month, this year, all that. It's a lot here. There's a lot of like continual learning as well, and growing and expression. Don't know what else to say too much other than, you know, let yourself be free and liberated. I want to say, if you don't want to come back to Earth, don't as well. You know, give yourself some space to recover up there. They're talking about like afterlife, but it's just like, why would you do this? That's the kind of thing. Also, I feel like even some of your higher selves are like, you don't have to learn this way. But anywho, that is exactly what I see in your reading. I don't know if this has answered your question. I really hope it's helped in your, you know, in your processing, in your system of however you work. But thank you so much for letting me read for you. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So you've chosen Aquamarine with water healing, compassion, and speaking your truth. I'm just going to move the microphone a bit. Okay, so interesting, speaking your truth. That's going to be a big one in your reading today. Speaking your truth. So this is how to work with your energy, how to best work with your unique energy. Now, a lot of the readings are coming up with lots of different ideas and that kind of thing. I feel like sometimes just the reading itself, it's not giving you like, well, do I go left or right? You choose. This you shouldn't listen to readers who tell you what to do. You should listen to your own inner guidance. That's really the truth. Also, what resonates, right? I might talk about something for 5 minutes that does not resonate. Leave it. You don't need to resonate with everything that is said out of my mouth or out of anyone's mouth. What resonates with your heart and soul. All right, water healing. So interesting with water healing. Yeah, okay, this one. Okay, so... Oh, that one flew out. So they've all had a good shuffle. I always shuffle them between the readings. I obviously cut that out, clip it out, because it's just me pulling the cards away and putting them back. But yeah, they have a good shuffle. So if they come through very quick, just like that one. Freedom, more blue. Look at you. Oh, this is this is giving me good energy. Freedom is everything. Feeling free, like the real energy of free will. So much blue energy in here. All right, so yep. How to work with your own unique energy. Have to feel this. You have to feel this energy of freedom. It's so interesting with compromise too. Freedom isn't just doing whatever you want. There is an aspect of doing what you want. But there's also an aspect of merging with others. Unless your life path is so clearly you go up into the mountains and hermit and just, you know, self-sustained, then absolutely. But you're definitely probably here to work with others, especially with all this water and blue energy. You're here to help others, work with others, help yourself, let others help you. A big thing is going to be about letting others help you as well. Letting others in. Tough one. I can contest to that, but yeah, it's coming through. All right, so you've got Boitata and Tekpatl with Defender, Nature, Fire, and Sacrifice. So nice. Boitata is really interesting. So this is part of like a mythology from where is it? Brazil? Yeah, he's in the rainforest, the Brazilian Amazon rainforest, and you know he's there to protect the creatures, the forest, from, you know, exploitation, that kind of thing. And so obviously at the moment probably not the happiest chappy, but definitely here to support and help. Sometimes he's seen as like not negative or positive. He just has a very specific role of protection, but he's also, you know, just has a huge heart for nature and living creatures and beings, and dislikes exploitation. So with that exploitation popping up a lot here, it's kind of popping through. Maybe you've had a lot of times where your energy has been exploited, or your good nature has been exploited. Not great, right? I don't have any answer for that. That's not good. That's not fair. Which may have put up this like response of fire to some people or some energies before they get too close. You know, this defensive kind of energy, when you're meant to be free. You're meant to be open. Got Flower Child, a lot more nature. You got so much natural energy. That's why I'm like, are you supposed to be in the forest and the hermiting? I don't think so, but like the earth, the water, the elements are really there for you to work with. I feel like even you working with energy balls, like with is it Qigong, Tai Chi, where they work with like energy balls. I don't know how to word it, but probably energy balls. Different elements as well. You can, you know, intent that they have healing or water or earth or, you know, that kind of thing. Why would you pick those as well? Just understanding and working with nature. It might even have come from a place where there was a lot of nature, and so the environment is really part of your home, but also seeing it hurt or like trees cut down, you know, all that kind of stuff. It feels like it would really pain you, which is tough, and especially in this environment that we live in, there's a lot of, you know, things being like lands being cleared and all that kind of stuff for housing and or for whatever, mines, that kind of thing. But you got Flower Child with momentum, creativity, and action. It says on her book, it says, I hope that it says over everyone else, you learn to make yourself proud. I hope that over everyone else, you learn to make yourself proud. Oh, that's such a good one. You're not here to impress anyone else other than yourself, let's say. You're here to help and support people, but you're not here to live for anyone else. You're not here to live for anyone else. You're not here to live for anyone else. Anyone else. Okay, is that enough saying it? Okay, cool. But yeah, you're here to be free. Freedom coming through very quickly, like this light woman, I guess you could say, but light body is just so free, right? She's just so expansive, and she knows she's everything, and everything is part of her, and she's what is it, expanded herself. I would say go to a meditation where there's like meditations of expansion if you want to. That'll help you know how powerful you actually are. I don't think you realize how powerful you are. And if you do, good. Good, that's it. Good. Mamakucha with collaboration. Yeah, I told you, you can't just hibernate, sorry. I flow with life and life flows with me. Look, if you work in nature, gardening, this is so specific compared to the other piles, but if it's just like, look, now you've got whales and fish and seals. Like, you've got a lot of energy here of nature. It's just so natural. Maybe go on a trip to the beach, and if you don't like bugs and, you know, things like that, go somewhere where you can just like view them from safety, like a zoo or something like that. Maybe that's not what you would actually like, but, you know, this is, you know, take these as like ideas, not as like commands. Goddess Aphrodite blossom, I blossom with love. This is so beautiful. It's like a very gentle soul. Powerful, right? Boitata is here, is gentle with nature and stuff, but has a lot of spice, I guess, or flame, like fire as well. But he's not here to burn it all down. He only does that when it's already been burnt down. Look at the forest behind him. He hasn't done this. He hasn't created the burning of the forest and the smoke in the sky. Other people have, and that's why he's reacted, because his home, his like brethren, which would be the animals, the plants, whatever else is in the forest, you know, has been destroyed. So he's here to bring balance. And people might think, oh, that's a destructive way. But they've already had destruction, right? They need to bring balance by leaving it alone. Anyway, I blossom with love. We definitely are going through an opening. Let's see what this card is. Got Inspire, it says, there's a fire inside you burning brighter than the sun. Yeah, I think you've probably seen a lot of things and like have thought, how can I help? What can I do? Start gardening. Put in like a herb garden or something like that. Nature is really important, I feel, in your reading today. The water, the earth, so important. And we're talking about this while also being in tropical Aquarius season, the humanitarian, the you know, for the people, for those around you. Aquarians are kind of funny. I mean, my in tropical, my ascended is Aquarian, and it's kind of funny because Aquarius is sometimes is like kind of standoffish or like seen as like off the cuff, but someone you really want to know, right? They are inspiring in some sense because they're just doing what they feel is right. They're not trying to be anything other than the actions that they are known for. They're trying to do that. They're not trying to get it for anything else. You know, in its lighter side, of course, there's probably, you know, there's not just 12 types of people, but still, it feels like that's the embodiment of what an Aquarian is that person who's just there to do the work and get the work done and fight put the power back in the people, not in over, what do they call it, like over governing shadows or like over governing systems. It's not about giving you the power away, it's about having the power within yourself, and I feel like this is coming through. This is a good season for you to know your own power. Okay, King of Swords, intelligence. Got the Tower. Yeah, it's time to... It's almost like time to fuck some shit up. That's kind of how it feels. You know, the more nature, right? Oof, this one came out reversed. I feel like in a way this is supposed to be slightly reversed. You've got the Three of Cups, which doesn't feel like, you know, not enjoying people, but it does feel like you know that you need to collaborate and work and celebrate as well, and be with those people that are on your side. You don't have to do everything alone. I feel like you've got a lot of gifts that will shine and need to be seen by others. You're like, oh, I don't want to do that. But you don't have to do anything. You just have to be you. Just be you. Just be you. I'm going to flip it up because you know it. You already know it. I know you want it to be reversed so you can be alone, but you don't need to. Nope. Sorry, not going to happen. Also applies in this too. You can obviously have your own space. You're going to have that anyway. Make sure that you are you. That King of Swords is really, really strong there. And so chill, right? He doesn't need to react. He's got everything he needs. He's got like his wisdom, his intuition, I feel here. He's like a dragonfly. He knows the changes he wants to see and what he's going for. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he radiates. And he's got his messengers. He's got his guidance. I mean, I'm assuming that's what that means because that's how it reads today. Okay, not that card. Goodness. And the King of Cups. So nice. I like that it has all this water and then it's got a, you know, water card, the King, and the Swords, the King, with the air, and we're in an air sign at the moment. If you go by sidereal, of course it's something different, but I'm just going to talk to this because this feels right for this reading. But obviously all beliefs, all kind of like astrology, whatever you feel you're connected to at any time, it's going to be right for you, so trust that. But I do really like this for the King of Cups because, again, we come back, we start off with water healing, and we've got a lot of water healing here too. I love this one because he's vibrating like a, what do you call it, singing bowl in the water, and it's attracting a lot of the fish and the stars, because starfish, it feels like it's cleansing, or no, it doesn't feel like cleansing, it feels like communicating, sending a message, an intention, and they're there to listen. So he doesn't have to speak, he just has to act, and they will know. Here he speaks as well, so you know when you need to speak and you know when you need to act, and also just be. You know when you need to recharge and re-energize. It's like a very intelligent person, a very emotionally intelligent person. So you have a lot here. You chose this life though, so this tower doesn't feel negative at all. It's no tower is negative. Sometimes we need towering because we just keep ignoring our guides, right? We're like, why do I keep working here? It's so horrible. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And they're like, okay, well, we pushed them down some stairs. That didn't work. They're still there. They keep doing the work. They're not resting. They're not getting out of the job. All right, here's the big tower coming through. And something ridiculous happens and you end up getting fired or having to leave. And it's like, well, we finally got them out of that job. All the stuff we had to do because there's something more important to do. But this one doesn't feel like that necessarily. This is you almost being the creator because something needs rebuilding. So your energy is super powerful. And well, you know, whatever you're connected with, even if you're a person who's like, well, I'm not really connected with nature, nature will help you, even if you don't put any like mind to it. Walking through a park or something like that, or getting bare feet on the ground at a beach, wherever, whatever feels right to you is right for you. I feel like you already know a lot of this anyway, because getting these two kings where they are just feels super powerful. But I will say, even though I'm sorry that you probably wanted to just be alone, in some parts, in some ways, like, you know, when I say alone, I don't mean just always by yourself. Some maybe, but just like even with your partner and family, like, you know, it needs to be, you also need to be out there in some way. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but it feels, you know, a cause that you're really passionate about. That'll be where you grab the flag and charge into it without being, it's like a leader, someone who people want to follow without intentionally wanting to be the leader. It's almost like too bad, I want to say, but yeah, I guess too bad. Anyway, beautiful reading. So I hope this really helps you. This is, I know we haven't talked to like specifics necessarily, but take what resonates in this reading because there's a lot here. You are super powerful. You're here for a very specific reason. And, you know, follow your intuition till you get to what that is and what that looks like, because it's going to be a much more empowering and like interesting life than maybe what you've experienced in the past. And you planned this and it's here for you to embed yourself into, or enmesh into is what I want to say. I don't know what that means, but like, you know, dive into it. Take the dive into it. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me read for you, pile number 3. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading.